वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Newspaper Times of India says a 7-member inquiry committee of the SGPC has reported that the pictures of Sikh freedom fighters have been removed from the galleries of the Museum of Cellular Jail in Andaman and Nicobar Island. The cellular jail, also known as Kala Pani, was built by the British in Port Blair to imprison the freedom fighters, give them the treacherous of atrocities, then brutally execute them. Out of 121 freedom fighters who were hanged in Kala Pani, 93 were Sikhs. The table below is a self speaking evidence. What is it that drives these courageous Sikh warriors to embrace death with a smile on their face? Why don't they even give a second thought before giving up their homes, their family, their youth? It is because when an ordinary child listens to fairy tales, these Sikh children listen to heroic sacrifices of the fearless Char Sahibjadas, the 4 extraordinary sons of Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who in a young and tender age challenged the mighty Mughals, did not bow down to the threat, greed, and fear. When such a small Sikh child learns about Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, who was brutally put to death, why? All because he refused to change the verses of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, wherein the great Guru wrote, Ek Pita, Ekas ke hum barik, Tu mera Gur hai. We all are the children of the one God. He is the divine Father of all of us. We are each other's brothers, divine siblings. At this dark age, when the upper class, especially Brahmins, used to get easy money only on cheap showcasing of the so called high caste, demean the low caste, this bold truth of equality of all was a huge threat for them. Besides the immense popularity of Shri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, his practical demonstration of dignity, love, and compassion through Sangat and Pangat was never liked by Jahangir or by these wicked people. Hence, Guru Sahib was cruelly killed. The little Sikh child absorbs all this. That be prepared to die for your values. Life has to be upright, lived well. Do not pin on it hopes, dreams, expectations, or desires. Pehla, maran kabul, jeevan ki chhad aas. At that tender age, he learns about the heart-rending sacrifice of Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, who never wore janau or tilak, but for the sake of the right and dignity of his Hindu brothers, he resolved to stand up for them. सूरा सो पहचानिए जो लड़े दीन के हेत, पुरचा पुरचा कट मरे, कभू न छाड़े खेत. Such a child grows up to be a La Banda Singh Bahadur, Baba Baghel Singh, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. When Banda Singh Bahadur was cut limb by limb, his eyes pierced with hot iron rods, his small son's liver thrust into his mouth, he showed no fear. Instead said, Jo tis pave Nanaka, Sai gal changi. Whatever pleases my Lord, my Master, is undoubtedly good for me. This is called Chardikala. Every Sikh from his forefathers is gifted with this divine quality. Chardi means high, ascending. Kala meaning state, condition, skill. Chardikala is a calm, resilient, and determined state of mind with a sheer acceptance of God's will in all circumstances. These courageous men and women fought for others, were seva karat hoye nahi kami, performed selfless service without the thought of reward. Chardikala started with Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. The young Nanak refused to wear janau, the so-called sacred thread meant for higher class. When the Pandit insisted, he said, Can this thread be worn by my sister? The Pandit replied, No. Also, it cannot be worn by a low caste. Then Guru Nanak said, "Do not consider anyone as low. Be merciful to all. This should be the cotton of the thread. Contented with whatever the Almighty has given us is spinning. Let speaking the truth be the twisting. Let purity of mind be the knots. O Pandit, such a thread will neither break nor get soiled, nor will it get burnt nor lost. If you have such a thread, you might wear it on my neck." Guru Nanak's age was an age of total darkness, taboos, caste and ritual ridden, communal arrogance, and feared dominance and tyranny. Idol worship was prevalent. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, "Pathar le पूजे मुगद गवार ओजा आप डूबे तुम कहाँ तरन हार." The ignorant fools pick up stones and worship them. When these stones themselves sink in water, how will they carry you across the terrifying ocean of the world? Bhagat Kabir said, "Pathar पूजे हरि मिले तो मैं पूजू पहाड़ इससे तो चक्की भली पीस खाए संसार." Meaning, if by worshipping the stone can I meet the Almighty, then I might as well worship the big mountain. Better still than all the stones is this chakki, the floor grinder which provides food and sustenance to all. Dhan Guru Nanak says, "Bhugat Gyan Daya Bhandaran, Khat Khat Vaje Naad." In every heart there is a sound of Naad, which is heard after constant repetition of the divine name Waheguru. Naudar Thake, Davat Rahaye, Dasve Nijkar Vasa Paye, Othe Anhad Shabad Vaje, Din Rati Gurmati Shabad Sunavanaya, Bin Shabde Antar Anera. Those who close the 9 gates of the body and restrain the wandering mind come to dwell in the home of the 10th gate. There the unstruck melody of the Shabad vibrates day and night. Without the Shabad, there is only darkness within. Which are the 9 gates of the body? 2 eyes, 2 ears, your mouth, 2 nostrils, anus and genital. The 10th gate, the Samdwar, is the home of the inaccessible, infinite Supreme Lord. This is located in the uppermost part of the brain, through which, by constant meditation of the name Waheguru, one beholds the all-powerful Almighty. Dasam Dwara, Agam Apara, Param Purakh ki Kati. This 10th gate is the home of the inaccessible, infinite, Supreme Lord. The 9 gates mentioned are to see the outside world, but the 10th gate is to behold the Almighty. We are blessed to be born as a human. This is the only opportunity to meet the Almighty. But we foolishly think this earth to be our permanent home and waste time, effort, energy to accumulate things. Seeing all bodies being burnt, still we are nurturing only the body. But the soul, which has to be thoroughly nourished, is thoroughly neglected, and the punishments are severe. Dhan Guru Nanak Dev Ji instilled strength, mental and moral, into the subdued, agonized and crippled people by introducing Sangat and Pangat, which give a new lease of life. Singing God's praise and eating together boosted brotherhood, made them fearless. Khatri, Brahman, Shudh Ves, Updesh Cho Varna Ko Sanjha. By practicing this golden rule of religious equality, Guru Nanak Dev Ji breathed Chardikala into the dangerously caste-ridden, ritual-filled society, who claimed that reading scriptures and going to temple was a prerogative of only the upper class. Guru Nanak. How did Guru Nanak uplift the status of women, who were considered way inferior to men, as a source of temptation, impure, unfit for reading of Vedas, sold in child marriage, condemned as a temple dancer, forced to practice derogatory sati. Even today, women are not allowed in all temples. Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji not only raised a strong voice against these atrocities on women, but went ahead to welcome women in Sangat, Pangat, and Dharamshalas, offered them seats side by side with men. He vehemently condemned this brutality by saying, how can the society progress if one half of its members are backward and neglected? Why call her low who gives birth to great kings? Coming back to the Shahidi, the untying spirit to die for righteousness, the greatest display of Chardikala, when the thirsty, hungry 40 saint soldiers of Guru Gobind Singh Ji's army had to fight an army of 10 lakh Mughals. The unflinching courage to fight for righteousness was demonstrated in this battle, where the Mughal army, steeped in alcohol, arms, and ammunition, could not deter the hungry, devoid of ammunition Sikh soldiers who were drenched in the name of the Almighty, with all the virtues intact and all the vices eradicated. The mothers who say that keeping a child in Gursikhi will make him a Baba should definitely fear the punishment of slandering those countless shaheeds, martyrs, who suffered untold torture to give us, the ungrateful, a life of freedom, dignity, and comfort. Bhagat Farid says, Apanade Girivan mein sir neeva kar dekh. Introspect, search in your inner self. Are you walking in the path of Guru Sahib? Have you added value to the towering legacy? Are you enjoying the sweat and blood without an intense feeling of gratitude? Do not be one with the herd of sheep and goat, but be a tiger who is the king, who does not kill for the sake of amusement, but hunts only when he is hungry, never eats a dead animal, is abundant in power, beauty, and principles. The 10 Gurus have toiled, worked immensely hard for 239 years to give us this life which we are leading now, to give us Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, which is a living Guru. How? Because like a living Guru, Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is very respectfully brought to the Palki Sahib after a prayer of permission and gratitude. In the evening, Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is again put to rest with a prayer of gratitude. Any depression, any question is answered when we take Hukamnama from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the only holy Granth which is written by the Gurus, the divine teachers, while they were alive. Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the one and only divine compilation where the verses of other religion, Bhagats, have also been added. Those Bhagats like Bhagat Kabir, Namdev, Ravidas Ji, Sen Ji, and many more who were considered of low caste, never allowed to enter temples. Their Bani, holy verses have been added to practically show hypocritical people and rulers that Manas ki jaat sabe eke pehchanbo. Recognize the whole human race as one. Point to be noted here is one needs guts, grit, integrity, and fearlessness to loudly proclaim this truth, which drove the Gurus and Sikh warriors to be cut limb by limb, beheaded, boiled in fire, burnt on hot sheet, bound by pillars and cut into two, and many more brutalities. Thousands of videos and thousands of books are not enough to sum up the contribution of the Sikhs, whose pictures are removed from the galleries of cellular jail. No mention of them in the light and sound show. Why was Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Mangu Mutt in Puri demolished, even after so many pleading with the chief minister? It is rightly said that a nation is not only known by the men it produces but also by the men it honors. How are we honoring these martyrs? And for us, the so called Sikhs, if we are so good in aping the West, in shorning our hair and drinking tons of alcohol, we are digging our graves. If you have to ape Bhai Satidas, Bhai Matidas, Bhai Dayalaji, who are like shining luminaries in the sky, a beacon, a spectacular torch. But alas, today we are Sharam Dharam, Duishap Khaloya, Kood Fire Pardhan Velalo. Modesty and righteousness both have vanished into the thin air. And look, Kood, wickedness, falsehood, and hypocrisy is leading right from the front. We should understand very clearly that respect is never demanding, it is commanding. Only by respecting and abiding by Guru Sahib's ideals can we command respect. Otherwise, we will lose respect in this world and in the next. When the Afghans in the 18th century had defeated and routed the Mughals and later the Marathas in Panipat, it was the Sikhs and the Sikhs alone who stood against them. It is now recognized by all the objective historians of the world that but for the courageous struggle put up by the Sikhs, the entire territory up to Yamuna would have formed part of the Afghan empire. At the cost of supreme sacrifices, the Sikhs saved the geographical entirety of India from being dismembered at that critical stage of history. This is quoted by Mr. Indu Bhushan Banerjee, gold medalist, lecturer in history, Kolkata University, in his book Evolution of the Khalsa. Today, our own Punjab is reeling under deras, babas, astrologers, peers, and whatnot. When we have Dhan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the treasure of treasures, Ratan Lal Jaga Kachuna Mol, Pare Pandar Akota Tol, the biggest counselor, friend, philosopher, and guide, why are we at all going in the wrong direction? Sit with Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. प्यो दाते का खोल टिट्ठा खजाना ता मेरे मन पया निधाना. When I opened the treasure of my father and grandfather, then my mind was in the highest bliss. Recite Waheguru, talk to Guru Sahib, read the holy verses, understand, do chore Sahib. Those who are blessed with the wealth of the most powerful name Waheguru, Bani, the holy verses of Dhan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Amrit, the divine nectar, Bana, the divine uniform, Sangat, the holy congregation, need not even glance at any Dera, Baba or Peer. He and she is the wealthiest and the most fortunate. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.